My name is Emma. I am 24 years old, and this is the story that changed my life forever. There was a time when I believed that love could solve every problem. I believed that if two people truly loved each other, nothing could separate them. I was wrong. Very wrong. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. Life was simple. People respected one another. Families celebrated together. Children played in the streets until sunset. It wasn't a rich town, but it was full of warmth. My father owned a small bookstore. My mother was a school teacher. They taught me honesty, kindness, and hard work. They also taught me one thing I never forgot. Never marry for money. Marry someone who respects your heart. For years, I believed those words. When I graduated from university, I started working at a publishing company in the city. Everything was new. The buildings were taller. The roads were busier. People walked so fast that no one even looked at each other. At first, I felt lonely, but everything changed one rainy afternoon. I was standing outside the office building, waiting for the rain to stop. Suddenly, someone walked toward me with an umbrella. "Would you like to share?" he asked politely. I looked up. He had kind eyes and a warm smile. "My name is Daniel." "I'm Emma." That was our first conversation. It lasted only 5 minutes, but somehow it stayed in my heart. After that day, we kept meeting, sometimes in the office cafeteria, sometimes in the elevator, sometimes outside the building. Each conversation became a little longer. Each smile became a little warmer. Daniel was intelligent, funny, patient. He always listened before speaking. Unlike many people, he never interrupted me. He remembered the smallest details about my life. One day, he surprised me by bringing my favorite coffee. "I remembered what you ordered last week," he said. I smiled. No one had ever noticed such a small thing before. Months passed. Our friendship slowly turned into love. He respected my dreams. He encouraged my career. When I doubted myself, he believed in me. One evening, he looked at me and said, "Emma, I don't want to imagine my future without you." My heart raced. "I love you." Those 3 words changed everything. "I love you too," I whispered. We dated for almost 2 years. During that time, Daniel never gave me a reason to doubt him. He introduced me to his friends. He respected my parents. He even helped my father organize his bookstore during weekends. My parents liked him, especially my mother. She once told me, "Emma, a good husband isn't the richest man. He's the man who brings you peace." Daniel seemed to be that man. One beautiful autumn evening, Daniel proposed to me. He didn't choose an expensive restaurant. He didn't hire musicians. He simply took me to the little park where we had shared our first coffee. He knelt down, held my hand, and asked, "Will you marry me?" Tears filled my eyes. Yes. Without hesitation, I said yes. Our wedding wasn't luxurious, but it was beautiful. Family, friends, laughter, music, hope. Everything felt perfect. When I walked toward Daniel in my white dress, he smiled. But looking back today, I realized something. His smile never reached his eyes. At that time, I didn't notice. Love can make people blind. The first month of our marriage was peaceful. Daniel still treated me kindly. We decorated our apartment together, cooked dinner together, watched old movies. Everything felt normal. I believed I was the luckiest woman in the world, but little by little, tiny changes appeared. Daniel became quieter. Sometimes he stared at old photographs alone. Sometimes he stayed awake late at night. Sometimes he looked angry for no reason. Whenever I asked, "Is everything okay?" he always smiled. "I'm just tired." I believed him. One Saturday afternoon, I was cleaning our bedroom. While organizing the closet, I accidentally found a small wooden box. It was locked. I smiled. When Daniel came home, I joked, "Are you hiding treasure from me?" For the first time, His face changed. He quickly took the box from my hands. Never touch this again. His voice was cold, almost frightening. I had never seen him like that. I'm sorry, I said quietly. But inside, questions started growing. After that day, the locked box disappeared. I never saw it again. Daniel also became more distant. He spent longer hours at work. He answered fewer questions. Sometimes he ignored my messages for hours. Whenever he returned home, he looked exhausted, or angry, or both. One evening, I prepared his favorite dinner. I wanted to surprise him. The candles were lit. The table looked beautiful. When he arrived, he barely looked at it. I already ate. Then he walked straight into the bedroom. No thank you, no smile, nothing. I sat alone at the table, trying not to cry. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. The distance between us grew larger every day. One night I finally asked, Daniel, did I do something wrong? He looked at me silently, then said, No. Then why are you changing? He closed his eyes. It's complicated. Tell me. I can't. Why? Because you wouldn't understand. Those words hurt more than shouting. A few days later, I visited my parents. My mother looked at me carefully. Emma, are you happy? I forced a smile. Of course. But mothers always know. She gently held my hand. You don't have to pretend with me. For the first time, I cried. I told her everything. She listened quietly. Then she said something that stayed with me forever. Sometimes people hide pain. Sometimes they hide something much darker. Those words echoed in my mind. What was Daniel hiding? Debt? Another woman? A family problem? I had no answers, only questions. One rainy evening, Daniel forgot his phone on the kitchen counter. It started ringing. The caller ID showed only one word, unknown. I didn't answer. But then a message appeared. She still doesn't know the truth. My heart froze. A few seconds later, another message arrived. When will you finally tell her? My hands started shaking. Tell me what? What truth? I wanted to open the conversation. But before I could, Daniel walked into the room. He immediately grabbed the phone. His face turned pale. He looked at me with fear. Did you read anything? I slowly shook my head. No. He stared at me for several seconds, then quietly placed the phone in his pocket. That night, neither of us slept. The next morning, Daniel left for work without saying goodbye. As I watched him drive away, one question kept repeating inside my mind. Was the man I married really the man I thought he was? Or had he married me for a reason I still couldn't see? The next morning, I couldn't stop thinking about those messages. She still doesn't know the truth. When will you finally tell her? Every word echoed in my mind. I wanted answers, but I was afraid of what those answers might be. That evening, Daniel came home late. He looked exhausted. I stood in front of him. We need to talk. He avoided my eyes. I'm tired. No, this can't wait anymore. For several seconds, silence filled the room. Then he finally sat down. His shoulders looked heavy, as if he had been carrying something for years. I owe you the truth, he whispered. My heart started beating faster. I've been lying to you. Those words broke something inside me. Years ago, before meeting me, Daniel had been engaged to another woman. Her name was Olivia. They had planned to get married. They loved each other deeply, but only a few weeks before the wedding, Olivia died in a terrible car accident. Daniel blamed one person, my father. Daniel nodded slowly. The accident happened outside your father's bookstore. He witnessed everything. He gave a statement. The driver who caused the accident went to prison. Daniel looked at the floor. I convinced myself that your father had lied. I believed he protected the real criminal. So, I hated your family. My hands were shaking. That's impossible. My father would never do that. Daniel closed his eyes. I know that now. But back then, hatred controlled me. So why did you marry me? The room became painfully quiet. Finally, he answered. At first, it was revenge. Those words hit me harder than anything I had ever heard. I wanted someone from your family to feel the pain I felt. Tears rolled down my face. So everything was fake? He looked at me immediately. No, it started as revenge. But it didn't stay that way. I fell in love with you. I couldn't speak. I wanted to leave. I wanted to scream. I wanted to believe him. At the same time, I wanted to hate him. He continued, I planned to leave you after marriage. But every day, I couldn't. You were kind. You respected me. You loved my parents. You believed in me. I began to hate myself. Then why didn't you tell me? I was afraid. Afraid of losing you. I stood up. You already lost me. Then I walked into the bedroom and locked the door. For the next few days, we barely spoke. Daniel slept on the sofa. The apartment that once felt full of love now felt empty. One afternoon, someone knocked on the door. It was an elderly man. My name is Mr. Collins. Daniel looked shocked. What are you doing here? The old man sighed. I came because I can't stay silent anymore. He looked at me. You deserve the truth. Mr. Collins had been the police officer who investigated Olivia's accident. He carried an old file. Inside were photographs, witness statements, court documents, everything. He placed one paper in front of Daniel. It wasn't Emma's father. The investigation proved it years ago. The drunk driver confessed. He acted alone. Daniel stared at the document. His hands trembled. I never read the final report. Mr. Collins nodded. You refused. You disappeared before the case ended. Daniel covered his face. Years of anger, built on a lie. After Mr. Collins left, Daniel cried. It was the first time I had ever seen him cry. I destroyed my own life. I hurt innocent people. I blamed your family. I married you for revenge. And then, I truly fell in love. For the first time, I saw real regret. Not excuses, not lies. Regret. The following day, Daniel asked if we could visit my parents. I wasn't sure, but I agreed. When we arrived, my father opened the door. Daniel immediately fell to his knees. I'm sorry. I blamed you. I hated you. I married your daughter for revenge. I was wrong. My parents stood silently. My father finally spoke. Stand up. Daniel couldn't. I don't deserve forgiveness. My father gently helped him. Then he said something unexpected. Hatred destroys two people, the one who receives it and the one who carries it. Daniel broke down again. For a long time, nobody spoke. Then my mother quietly served tea. Sometimes, healing begins in silence. Life didn't become perfect overnight. Trust doesn't return in one day, or 1 week, or even 1 month. Daniel had to earn it, every single day. He started therapy. He admitted his mistakes. He became honest, completely honest. No more secrets, no more lies, no more locked boxes. One evening, he brought me the wooden box, the one I told you never to touch. He placed it on the table. This belongs to you now, with shaking hands. I opened it. Inside were old photographs, letters, an engagement ring, and one diary. Daniel whispered, This box was never about you. It was about the pain I refused to let go. I gently closed the box. Then I looked at him. Maybe it's time to let it go. He nodded. Together, we placed the memories back inside, not to hide them, but to leave them in the past. Months passed. Little by little, our home felt warm again. We laughed, cooked together, talked honestly. For the first time, our marriage was built on truth, not revenge. One evening, Daniel surprised me with another proposal. This time, in the same little park where he had first asked me to marry him. He held a simple ring, not because we needed another wedding, but because he wanted a new beginning. Emma, years ago I married you for the wrong reason, but today I choose you with all my heart. No lies, no revenge, only love. Tears filled my eyes. This proposal felt more real than the first. I smiled. Yes, again. I said yes. A few months later, we renewed our wedding vows. Only close family attended. No expensive decorations, no grand celebration, just honesty, hope, and love. This time, when Daniel smiled, it reached his eyes. Looking back now, I learned something important. Love alone is not enough. A relationship cannot survive without truth. Secrets create walls, hatred creates distance, but honesty, even painful honesty, can begin healing. If Daniel had told me the truth before our wedding, our journey would have been very different. But he didn't, and we both paid the price. Today, we are still together, not because our story was perfect, but because we chose forgiveness over revenge, truth over lies, and love over hate. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel.